Well, Javier, how's your summer been? You've been pretty productive. It seems like a lot of gigs.
Yeah, so far I've played at the Secret Society on a few Wednesdays, and coming up I'm playing on at Ivory's on this Friday.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Who's in your band at Ivory's?
This time it's going to be Chris Brown on drums, Chris Higgins on bass. Really excited to have George Colligan on piano.
Uh-huh.
Patrick Sargent on alto sax.
Uh-huh.
Devin,
Tell me about him. We don't hear a lot about Patrick Sargent.
I actually haven't seen him in a while myself.
Yeah?
We were in New York in school together for a while. I think
Uh-huh.
he was 1 year behind me in school, and but the last time I heard him, he sounded great. So
Uh-huh.
I'm sure he's even better now.
Good. Who else?
Devin Phillips on tenor sax.
Nice.
Farnell Newton on trumpet.
Farnell's everywhere.
Yeah.
Farnell is everywhere.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
And then me on trombone.
Yeah, there you go.
7.
There you
Yep.
go. Yeah. So you going back to school in when?
I'm heading back on August 19th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you going?
University of Miami. It's my last year of grad school.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. What's your major?
I'm working on a studio jazz writing major.
Uh-huh.
So it's like one part jazz composition, like big band arranging and vocal ensembles and all kinds of stuff, and then the other part is studio engineering. So
Huh. What's the challenge in that for you?
the challenge for me is the studio engineering part, because it's something completely new to me.
Yeah.
And actually, when I applied for that degree, I saw the studio jazz writing, and what I was thinking in my head was, oh, I'll just go down there and write music and get it played and recorded by a bunch of great musicians, which does happen, but I didn't realize I was going to be doing the recording and the mixing and mastering of the stuff as well. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Do you like it?
oh, it's good. It's nice to be like all inclusive and like be able to do everything for yourself and not have to outsource and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you ever like miss the collaboration part of that if you do everything yourself?
No, not so much. But I mean, one thing that I've noticed I'm not playing as often when I'm down there doing the writing program. I wish I could get myself back on track with that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So you're not playing as much as you did in New York?
No.
Listen, I know a lot of guys. There's some people here, even in Portland, who studied in New York and came back. Why didn't you stay in New York?
Well, the biggest reason right now is just that I wanted to get a master's degree.
Yeah.
And this was like one of the other schools that offered something that I went to Juilliard for my undergrad, and they don't actually have a composition program. So for jazz, that is. So I wanted to get something a little bit different for my master's degree and try to fill in all the gaps and stuff that I didn't have. And then as far as coming back to Portland during the summer, I actually really like it here. I think there's great musicians, and the jazz scene is great.
You think you'll head back to New York when you're done?
It really depends on what happens, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't feel the necessity to be in New York. Like I said, I feel like there's great musicians just about everywhere you go. So as long as I'm playing and I feel fulfilled, I don't feel the necessity to be the next jazz superstar.
You don't? Really? You could be.
Who knows?
What is a jazz superstar anyway? That's what I'd like to know. You know?
Yeah.
It's a good question, huh? When did you first really get serious about your music? You pinpoint a time in your life?
I think, I mean, as soon as I started playing, I realized I really enjoyed it. But I'd say probably my sophomore year of high school, when I started playing in Thera Memory's American Music Program, is when I forcibly was...
You would have to.
I had to get serious then. So, yeah, that's probably when I started getting pushed to, like, really start practicing more often and more regimented. Yeah.
Thera has a singular method, doesn't he?
Yeah.
How would you describe the Thera's method of teaching?
I'd just say it's very blunt and very truthful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always better to know what your teacher wants, don't you think? Or the band leader that you're working for, or anybody that you're working for.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Why the trombone? A lot of people, most people don't choose the trombone. What was it about it can you say what it was that was about it? Because it's probably just a feeling, but what do you think?
Well, the funny story about the trombone actually is I didn't start on the trombone. I played the first few weeks, or maybe a month or so, in the beginning band in 6th grade when I started doing percussion. And so like I just had my little drum pad and I was doing that. And then my mom said, no, you need to play a real instrument. And one of our family friends that lives over here in Portland was selling an old trombone at a garage sale and sold it to my mom for $65. And she brought it home and said, you have to play this. So that's basically how I started with the trombone. Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing you liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting instrument. Not every band has a trombone.
Yeah.
I mean, is that a problem?
It can be, but I see it as kind of a blessing and a curse because I'm not being hired all the time. I've actually been forced to do a little bit more things myself, which is why I've come to start writing music a lot more and putting together my own bands. So
that makes sense. Did you have trombone heroes when you were coming up?
Definitely. I remember back in the old days with LimeWire and Winamx, I would just type in trombone on the search engine and just listen to everything. And so I listened to classical music, just anything that had the trombone in it. So, but J.J. Johnson, obviously Curtis Fuller, Slide Hampton, and then some classical guys, Joe Alessi and Christian Lindbergh are also some heroes of mine. Yeah.
Didn't you just win a trombone?
I did, yeah.
How did you get that?
I just won this International Trombone Association's J.J. Johnson competition. This year it was down in Columbus, Georgia. And so I was awarded a Rath trombone, so it was really nice.
Do you have it?
I do.
How is it?
It's great. I just started playing on it a few weeks ago. I'm getting adjusted, but I think it already sounds better than the one I've been playing on. So.
Wow, that's great. What did you have to do in this competition?
The preliminaries require you to play a J.J. Johnson composition, and then also just a standard blues of your choosing. And you send it in, and they have some judges that go over however many applicants, and they choose 3 finalists. And then you do the second round, which is the final competition, and that can be in different areas. Like last year I think it was in Paris, and this year I got lucky that I didn't have to pay for my plane ticket to out of states. Yeah. But the finals you play a composition of your own, and then the blues, and then a J.J. Johnson composition again.
Pressure?
I make sure that I don't get pressured when I go to those competitions. I try to stay away from my competitors before I go on, so I can just play and be myself and not try to feel like I have to do something to beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah.